Hello and welcome to the European Science Education Academy video tutorial on how to prepare a successful Key Action 1 Erasmus Plus application for staff mobility for school education. In this and the following video tutorials, we would like to introduce to you the Erasmus Plus program and guide you step by step through to the steps needed on how to prepare a successful application. In this very session, I will first introduce to you the overall Erasmus Plus program, so you have an idea and the context needed to prepare a good application. In the second part of the first session, I will introduce specifically the Key Action 1 for school education. In the following sessions that we are recording soon, we will help you and guide you through the steps needed to plan, to conceive the project, to register your organization at the EU Participants Portal, and I will give a brief introduction into the application form. In the third and fourth sessions, we will guide you through the steps of actually filling in the application form, explaining step by step and for each field what should be addressed, what questions need to be answered, what answers need to be given, and how to submit in the end the project proposal. Now, let us start with the Erasmus Plus background. Many of you probably have heard about Erasmus Plus, about Erasmus as a student mobility program. Using the program to spend 1 or 2 semesters studying abroad at a foreign university. There were other programs under the lifelong learning program, like Grundtvig, Leonardo, Comenius, that were quite known, but there were also other programs like the Erasmus Mundus, Tempus or Alpha program, which all have been merged now into the Erasmus Plus program, which will exist in the financing period from 2014 to 2020. Erasmus Plus has been divided into 3 so-called key actions. Key Action 1 on learning mobility, Key Action 2 on international and institutional cooperation, and Key Action 3 for policy support. Now, in this image, you will see what each of these key actions actually mean and what the type of actions and the programs are supported. We will focus for the purpose of preparing a staff mobility application only on KA1 activities, and more specifically on the very first point, on staff mobility for teachers, trainers, school leaders and youth workers. To give you an idea how big the Erasmus program is, some key numbers about the budget. So the overall Erasmus Plus budget for the 7 years from 2014 to 2020 is almost 15 billion euros. School education gets about 15% of the overall funding available, which is still almost 322 million euros per year. That includes training activities or job shadowing or teaching assignment for teachers, as well as strategic partnerships between schools and student projects. However, it is the goal of the European Commission for this period to involve at least 800,000 teachers and educational staff in training activities or to teach abroad in another European country. Who is eligible to apply for this funding? Well, certainly the 33 program countries of the Erasmus Plus project program are eligible. That means all the 28 member states of the EU, plus Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, Turkey and Fyrom that have extra agreements with the European Commission to participate in the Erasmus Plus program. If your school or if your organization is registered outside of any of these countries, unfortunately you cannot apply for KA1 funding. I'm going to give you a very brief overview about the general objectives of the Erasmus Plus program. I have listed here in this slide a few of the key documents, policy documents that give context for the overall goals and objectives of the Erasmus Plus program. There's no need into downloading and reading any of these. I just wanted to put them here for the completeness of this introduction. What is important is to focus on the specific objectives for school education and for mobility itself. So, one of the key objectives of the Erasmus Plus project is to foster quality improvement through staff mobility by sending teachers abroad, by sending teachers to training events in other countries. The goal is to elevate their level of teaching, to improve their capabilities, their capacities, their skills, and by thus improve their teaching qualities. This is one of the major objectives of the Erasmus Plus project. You can read all the details, if you wish to, in the so-called program guide of the Erasmus Plus program. You can find it on the website of the Erasmus Plus program. Let me briefly open it for you to have a look. You shouldn't get scared. There are about 327 pages. You really don't need to read the whole guide. There are some, you can see in the table of contents, there are very specific sections that deal with Key Action 1 and specifically mobility projects in the field of education, training and youth, or in our case for school education staff. There you will find all information needed and all information that will also be part of these video tutorials. Specifically, you can find the background information on Key Action 1 from pages 33 on. For the mobility for school education from in the pages 66 to 72. And also in part C, information for applicants, pages 246 could be of interest. Other information about the Erasmus Plus program in general you can find on the homepage. Where there are also other calls for other projects available and especially also the link to all national agencies. The way the Erasmus Plus program is structured is that in each of the 33 program countries there exists a national agency that deals with certain aspects of this program, and one of them is the Key Action 1 staff mobility projects. So your application actually, although submitted online, will be received by your national agency. If you are based in Germany, you will submit your application to the German national agency. If you are based in Portugal or Greece, you will submit, although online, to your Portuguese or Greek national agency. It is therefore important that you also visit the homepage of your national agency, and best even to get in contact with them. You will receive there even further guidance and further help beyond this video tutorial. And the way to find your national agency is through the website of the European Commission. By going under this link and selecting the national agency of your country. If you're going, for example, to Germany, it will give you the address, it will give you the phone number and the email of the national agency. This is for higher education, and this is for adult and vocational training, and this specific one is for school education.